What is up, guys? Welcome to the ThinkComputers Weekly Tech Podcast. This is episode 220. This episode is brought to you by Amazon. If you go to thinkcomputers.org/Amazon and happen to purchase something, that gives us a little kickback and, of course, helps the podcast keep on going. With me is Ryan. How you doing over there? And
Good.
Kansas.
I'm good. I'm ready. Yeah, ready for a podcast.
Yeah,
Ready to go.
I don't know. Before we got on here, you were kind of losing your mind a little bit.
So. It was a little rough. I was napping a little bit. So
it's been the past couple weeks. Like you don't really have at least for me, because I don't have a sense of time or what day it is or what's going on, because it's just everything's at a standstill.
Yeah, this week I am off on what the date actually is. I mean, I know that it's Wednesday, but I'm way off on. I think it's the 29th, right? Yeah. So
yes, it is the 29th. But yeah, that's.
Other than that, I'm all right.
Yeah, I cut my own hair. I don't know if you guys can see.
Yep, you did.
That was my thing I did this week, which is non-tech related. But yeah, I cut my hair, which was.
Did you have the trimmers to do it, or did you have to buy them?
So here's the interesting thing is that I needed I don't like hair on the side of my head. I just don't. It's very uncomfortable for me. I feel like I look like a bum when I do it.
You should see me without the headset on.
Yeah, it's just not good. So I was looking on Amazon. Of course, everything on Amazon sold out. We had gone to Target because that's where we go to get groceries, and that was just a mess. Walmart online had nothing available, and then I go to Newegg, and everything is in stock at Newegg. And you think Newegg, you think computers, but they sell.
They do have a lot of random stuff. So
yeah, so I went on there, and I think I talked about it. I had said I was go on Newegg if you can't find anything on Amazon, and that's where I found a pair of clippers, and I was able to cut my hair, and I feel like a human again.
Did you cut the top stuff, or did you just do the sides?
No, I just did the sides and the back, and I did the whole thing by myself. I didn't have Kayla help me because I wanted to see if I could actually do the whole thing by myself. And it's there are some places where it's not necessarily even, but it worked out pretty well, I think. I'm happy with it, per se. I don't feel like I need to wear a hat or anything like that. So.
I have the clippers. I just haven't done it yet. And I think we talked about it, but I'm waiting till my son's all right, fine, you can practice on me and mom can watch so that mom can then cut my hair, right? So.
Yeah, I was looking at clippers, and just like any consumer, when I'm looking at a product, I go on YouTube, and the one set of clippers that was available on Newegg, I found a video where this guy's quarantine, cut your hair with these clippers, and he had a tutorial on how he did it by himself, and that's the whole reason that I did it. So, cool. So yeah, that was my big thing this week. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I was really scared though, because I've never cut my hair before. You go to a barber, or when I was younger, family friends would cut your hair and things like that. So like I said, it turned out really well. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Cool.
But for everybody following along, of course, this is a tech podcast. We'll get into tech, but if you want to follow along, we have our show notes page, which is linked in the description of the video for everybody on the live stream, where you guys can go ahead and follow along and everything like that. So let's jump into reviews this week. And I have the product sitting in front of me, which is the Sabrent Rocket Sabrent Rocket Nano, which is this super tiny portable SSD. It's a USB 3.2 Gen 2, and the thing I like about it, of course, it's called the Nano, and you can just.
It is pretty small.
It is super tiny. I love how small it is. It's pocketable, so sometimes these portable hard drives, they're too wide to be really pocketable, but this is
there's nothing to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit larger than your normal flash drive. As I said, USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C connector as well. I'll bring up the review so you guys can see it. And it's a great little drive. And with all these drives, for the most part, unless they're crazy optimized, they're going to give you around 1,000 megabytes per second read and write. And this drive performed up to that. And that's just a lot of speed for something that's super portable and super small. It allows you to, if you're on the go and you're doing something like editing 4K video, this is the perfect thing to add to your workflow, just for the fact that it's 1,000 megabytes a second. That's not going to slow down anything. It's not going to increase render times. It's a great little game drive as well. The biggest thing when it comes to portable game drives is you want them to be fast, because nobody likes the loading screens when it comes to games. So everything is going to load fast there for a portable game drive. And that's kind of like it. I mean, this drive is just, like I said, it's just a nice little portable drive. Performance is there. Like I said, if you look at the Crystal Dismark performance here, I mean, that's really fast for a portable drive.
Is that an aluminum case?
Yeah, so it's aluminum casing. Now, one thing that our buddy Stuart said, because he wanted to pull the drive out of this, he said it's literally impossible to take this apart, and it really is.
Is there no seam or anything on it?
There is a seam, but it's completely hard.
Oh, okay, I see it.
But yeah, he said he tried to take a hacksaw to it. It was
wow.
But like, as a consumer, you're not gonna be opening this. I wouldn't think. I have no reason to open this. But yeah, it's made of aluminum. It's pretty heavy too, which I actually kind of like. And they offer it, at least according to their website, they offer it in 6 different colors, all like blue, pink, gold. But the ones that are available, at least in the US, that I saw, are only the silver here and the black. So cool. But I like it. I mean, you guys have been listening to this podcast for a while. I'm sure a lot of you like. I love these super fast portable drives. It just makes things so much easier. With laptops getting smaller and smaller, your internal storage is only so much. So to be able to add something that is pretty much as fast as an NVMe drive, I mean, technically is an NVMe drive inside of here, but something that's that fast, and the Type-C connector and everything, you don't need external power. We've had that, for a long time. So I really like these portable drives. So I gave this a 9 out of 10. The only downside of this is there is no software included. So if you want to do scheduled backups or anything like that, you have to kind of go out and get your own software. But yeah, and one thing I didn't notice or didn't say about this is that when you get it, it's formatted as exFAT. Or exFAT, which means that you don't have to do anything to it for it to work on both Windows and Mac, which is kind of nice, because you see a lot of these. Like I don't know. A lot
of them come as FAT32 or sorry, not FAT32, NTFS.
Yeah, a lot of I'm pretty sure Western Digital with their portable drives, they have the Windows version and then they have the Mac version. So it's kind of funny,
especially when they're at different prices. You're like.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It came with 2 cables, right? It came with a C to C and an A to C cable.
Yeah, C to C and A to C, which is nice for backwards compatibility, or even just transferring. You go over to your friend's house, they might not have a Type-C connector on their computer, so you have that. So I gave it a 9 out of 10. It is selling for $109.99, which is a good price. That is the 512 gig version that I reviewed. I think that price is very fair for what you're getting. So very, very cool. Right there. And I was almost done with the review of this guy, which is the N60 H1. I have it all together there. You can see the graphics card spinning and installing Windows and everything. But I didn't get to my thermal testing, obviously because the sides are off of it and everything. But I will have that in the next couple of days, so that will be coming up. But that is our only review this week. But I did something else this week, which I had been planning. I've been planning this since before the new year. So I had been planning to upgrade my main PC. That was something that I was working on and working with a couple of different companies to get parts for. And then CES happened, and then, get back from CES and just wasn't. And the thing is, breaking down your main PC is like a task, because that is my PC, which I work on. So it's not something I can do over a couple of days, because I need.
Yeah, if you don't have like a laptop or a backup system or something, you're always like, all right, what do I need to get done? Like, how much time do I have? What do I have coming up that I have to do? Yeah, it's always, if you have the time or an extra system, it's nice to take your time, but other times you're just like rushing through and hoping nothing breaks or you're not missing something.
Yeah. So I was like, I need to do this in a day. and I need to. It was a big thing because when you're upgrading your system, one of the things you do upgrade is your hard drive, and I didn't, because I have everything set up so perfectly with like Adobe programs and their scratch disks and all this stuff.
Yep.
And it took me hours to just set all that up. And I don't want to spend all day downloading all of my software, installing Windows, blah, blah. So, I went from going from from 3 NVMe drives that were, I think, in total 1.5 terabytes to 4 NVMe drives that are 5 terabytes.
Man.
But I had to clone all of those drives and clone my 3.5-inch drives that I had in here as well. So I took that 2 terabyte HP drive I just reviewed. That's now my game drive, but I had to clone everything, which was actually really easy. I've actually never used cloning software before.
You used Acronis, right?
Yeah, I did. And it was super easy to use. And actually, Sabrent offers a free version, as long as you have one of their drives plugged into your computer. So I used that, cloned my drives one day. The next day, I was like, I'm breaking everything down, and I have this new system, which is sitting next to me, and I always catch myself staring at it now, which I hope I don't unplug my webcam. But so you guys can see, this is the move my cable here.
Build,
yeah, there's the new build. So it was done in the Corsair 680X. The 680X, I liked it for its form factor. It's not a cube, but it's more of a cube. It's actually wider. I can't really show you because this USB cable is only going to go so far. But I really like that, and I love that the power supply is not in this main compartment. So there's two different compartments. One that has your power supply and some storage, and then this, which was just basically your motherboard and graphics card and everything like that. And I just loved the idea of being able to just show this off without all that cable mess. And another thing, the big thing with this is I had the InWin 805 Infinity, and the cooling on that was horrible. And actually, that wasn't a huge deal to me when I initially built it, because I didn't really play video games all that much.
Yeah, you've kind of ramped up your gaming in the last year
so obviously with like, you got me, I don't know if you got me into playing Fortnite, but I was playing Fortnite a lot. And then we played Apex, and I've been playing a lot more games and things like that. So here you can see there's a ton of fans. And obviously the 680X, because we have the tempered glass on the front, is not crazy like high airflow, but we do actually have vents on this compared to the InWin 805 Infinity. And I upgraded all the fans in the case as well. So these are the new QL series fans from Corsair. So they have 36 LEDs in each one.
So
let me get like a close-up of those. I mean, they're actually, I could probably open this so you guys can. I'm trying to do this without disconnecting this webcam. But yeah, so those have 36 RGB LEDs in it, which really, like, I mean, there are other RGB elements in there, but like I had RGB strips. I don't have any of those in this case, which I think actually looks really good. You can see like the showpiece.
They put off a pretty good glow for not having any strips in there.
Yeah, it really does. And it got, obviously, like, this webcam is not doing it justice either. But the Corsair Dominator Platinum RGB with a Capellix RGB LED is just awesome. I went from 32 gigabytes of DDR4 to 64 now, so I can have 12 Chrome windows. Upgraded the AIO to the Corsair H115i. I had upgraded my graphics card from a 1080 Ti to a 2080 Super right before the new year. So that's there. We did the vertical GPU installation, which I think hides everything really well. I'm just super happy with how everything turned out. Servinia says half your idle power usage is just RGB. Probably. I'm still a big fan of RGB. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be like, I have it set for like that wave right now, but I can make it all one color. I can do a lot of stuff. And the big thing with moving, so this is a very, like, as you guys can see, this is a very Corsair heavy RGB.
Yeah, like other than
Almost
the
everything.
motherboard
Yeah.
and the graphics card and maybe
Yeah.
the storage.
Yeah. Almost everything is Corsair. And there's a reason behind that is that I wanted one piece of software for RGB. Um, and
IQ is a pretty good choice for that.
and I wanted to be able to control the fans through it too. And you could, on the backside, we have our Commander Pro, which allows you to plug in fans and then control their speed. So all the fans in here I can control individually through IQ as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so I did a video on this, on the whole build and the process and what I went from before to now. We have it linked in the show notes. You guys can check it out. I'll try to bring up to the end here, so you can kind of see what it looks like. I'll get that ad out of the way for you guys. But yeah, I mean, it turned out really well, and yeah, it's just like one of those things I had a lot of fun doing. I think sometimes it gets kind of monotonous doing reviews sometimes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And to do a build, and something that it's not just a build that I'm doing just to do it and then I'm never going to touch it again. Like, this is my main computer. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm really happy with it. So I'm not sure if there's anything else that I didn't mention as far as like the build.
Oh, that's good. Oh, you did the cables, different power supply cables. You went with
so Corsair
premium.
also, they sent over their premium cables, which you can see here, which is individually sleeve cables, which surprisingly I've never used before either. So I put those in there. They turned out really well. They plug right into the power supply. They're not extensions, so they go right into the power supply. Those worked out.
That's so
really
nice
well.
because it's so much less cable clutter.
Yeah,
you all see these builds on like the backside, and they've got the nice cables on the visible side, and then you see the back cabling, and it's all extensions, which I mean is fine, but it's nice when they plug right in.
Yeah, it all worked out really well. Like I said, it turned out better than I thought it would have, and it was very easy. Like, again, each one of these fans has two cables that come out of it, one for power and one for RGB. It was really easy to route everything to the controllers because again, I'm in that Corsair ecosystem. It makes it much easier to do all of that. Servinia said, "I'm sad. My main build is waiting on an i9-10980XE, but they don't exist in the wild." That's the 18 core, right? I think that's the 18 core, I believe. But yeah, like I said, I'm pretty pumped about my build. Again, I always catch myself just like staring at it, which is kind of funny. I guess I don't know, maybe that will wear off here in a little bit. But yeah, so check out that video. We have a little write-up on the website as well, which you can check out, but it's mostly just the video. So definitely check that out. If you guys have any questions about the build, definitely let me know. I had a lot of fun doing it. And I don't get RGB conflicting. Like, you ever have that? You have different RGB software and they conflict.
Yep. And you probably don't have the like lighting, whatever EXE is running and getting kicked out of games for cheating, right?
Anymore.
That's so nice.
Yeah, I just, and the thing is like that G-Scale memory, like it would just turn off because it conflicted with NZXT cam and other stuff. But it was just like, I'm so glad that it's just, it's there. So definitely, cool. Like I said, I every time I look at it, I'm so happy with it. So we'll stop talking about it. My new build, but we'll move on to CaseBought Friday, which is another awesome build. We're talking about builds here. This week we have a gaming desk, which we've seen a few, and I think this one's really cool. This one is done by Warboy Modding, and it's actually Hydra desk. I didn't know Hydra actually make desks.
Okay, I thought it was just the name. Okay,
Hydra. Well, okay, it might be the name. I could be wrong. I'm not sure because he didn't list the specs, but I think this is actually made by Hydra. The company that makes those really cool they're like kind of like test benches, but not really test benches, like vertical. They have their Hydra Mini, which is really popular with Mini ITX. I think this is the same company, but I could be wrong. But in any case, this is a desk build, and it is kind of designed after what's the guy's name from Transformers?
Bumblebee.
Yeah. It's kind of designed after him with the colors and everything, and of course the transformer thing here. Single system build in here, which is this case I believe is designed only for single system. I could be wrong. It just doesn't look big enough for dual system. But it's cool that he has 2 separate loops, one blue, one yellow, and you can see he has the reservoirs with the what are
the helix or the double helix looking.
I think that goes really well with this. So you have blue for the graphic, or blue for the CPU, and then yellow for the graphics card. He custom made. I don't know if he has pictures of the hard drives. You can kind of see him here. He custom made this like hard drive thing, so they're all can be displayed and everything like that. I think it's really cool. I don't know. Are you a fan of these desk builds, or
nope?
You don't like them?
What? No. And looking at that picture right there, one thing I really don't like is how those SATA cables or those front panel USB right there just like go across. Like everything else is like perfectly thought out. I'm surprised he didn't like route them down underneath the motherboard and
bring them up,
and bring them back up by the drives. I can't tell if those are SATA or not. I mean, they look like they are, but
yeah, I believe
it's kind of surprising, right? Everything else looks perfectly planned out, and a lot of time, I don't know, maybe forgot. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I from just doing this build this weekend, there's some last minute things I was just like, I'm just gonna whatever.
All right, fine,
yeah.
I mean, it's the same company that makes that Hydra Mini.
Okay, yeah.
Test bench.
But like I said, I like it. These test builds I think are cool. The whole thing about these desk builds is like I used to have a glass desk like back in the day, and these all have these glass tops, and I'm just like not a fan of the glass top at all. And the fact that like I use a full size mouse mat now that covers like my keyboards on it, and like that's gonna take away from seeing what's in here, right?
It looks like it belongs in an arcade. It looks like an arcade cabinet
of some
sort, right?
I agree. Yeah, I mean, especially if you look at it like this way, kind of.
Yeah,
it kind of just looks like that. I don't know. I would like it, right? But
sure.
If I can't, like, if this is priced around the Lee price range, right? Like a couple, like 1,000. I would rather spend that 1,000 on a graphics card.
Sure.
Right? Then I mean, and the other thing is too is I would rather have a wall mount PC than this desk build, right?
Yeah, you start putting stuff on top, because I'm a person that likes a mouse mat, with a keyboard and everything, and so now I've covered up half of it, and I've got stuff laying on top, and it's dusty, and unless you're keeping up with it all the time.
Yeah. And the thing is too is like if you have like here, like I have on my desk right now, I mean I have my monitor mount, which is mounted to the desk. So if I want to get into this and change something, I have to take that apart. I have to take my speakers off here. I have to take my audio interface off of here. Obviously, I have to take, my PC's on here, but like I take this mouse mat off my key. Like there's a lot just to get in there. But I do think this is one of the better ones that I've seen. Some of them are just kind of like, but I kind of actually like this one. I like the colors. I like the whole idea of 2 different loops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you can kind of do with this. And these, I think this is like, what, a 480 rad on each side.
Yeah, dual 480s.
Cool. Yeah. So definitely check that one out. That one is by Warboy Modding. We featured him a few times. So definitely go ahead and check that one out. And it is contest time again. We said we were going to launch a new contest, launch this week. We did not line up a sponsor, so I decided we'll give you guys another $50 gift card, which is great because this opens this up to be a worldwide contest, because I assume I can give you a gift card pretty much wherever you live. Super easy to enter, just like all of our contests. Just do it all. We do it all through Gleam. Super easy. Just subscribe to our email newsletter, and then you'll unlock 17 more ways to enter. Super easy. And we just want to give stuff back. And we figured $50 gift card, like that could be like groceries now if you're really in need or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I assume we can get you I assume we can get you a gift card for like a grocery store. I assume we can do that. So, or we can get you like a Visa card, like, those throwaway
prepaid
Visa cards. Yeah, prepaid or something. If that's what you want, or if you want to use it, like we have, Amazon, Steam, Xbox, iTunes, whatever you want to do. This is running for 3 weeks. So it has 20 days left right now. So yeah, just get your entry in. Super easy to go ahead and enter. And that brings us to news this week. And we talked about the Gigabyte Aorus Z490 boards being leaked. And then somebody after that, literally the next day, I think, like we did this podcast on Wednesday.
You want to see all of them? Because we got them.
It seems like Thursday's the day where things are dropping. Like tomorrow is like the big announcement day for Z490 anyways. So like we'll talk about this stuff that's like not, and then like tomorrow, by the time you listen to this podcast, it's going to be, tomorrow's the day, right? Tomorrow's the 30th. So, so yeah. But anyways, somebody leaked all of Gigabyte's Z490 motherboards. We talked about some of these last week, like the Aorus Extreme Water Force and the Aorus Extreme. And what's nice about this leak is we get to see all the pictures and the rear IOs. So like,
that was
if you needed specific, and again, we do see the dual Thunderbolts, which I really like to see. Me being like a speed demon person when it comes to storage, seeing dual Thunderbolt there is awesome. But you get to see the rear I/O, so you know what to expect, and you kind of like, okay, this has this many USB ports or whatever I need. One of the interesting ones, what I was talking to you about earlier this week, is this board, which is the Z490 Aorus Ultra G2 edition. Is G2 like a clan?
I don't know. I mean, that logo looks like an esports or like a streaming or a team logo. It just has that aesthetic to it that's kind of popular right now, and it really looks like an Asus board, and it kind of reminds me of the Tough series from Asus.
Yeah, it kind of does actually.
But I do like the red fins on the VRM cooling.
Yeah, it's like my favorite part of it. It reminds me of like an older,
which I think, or I hope we kind of go back to that design. It's just more efficient than just these solid blocks of aluminum, or
I 100% agree. Gigabyte's been doing that at least the past.
They've been doing it for a little while.
Like at least the last generation they did it on the boards. And then we have this board, the Z490i.
The very weird looking glow to the side, but
yeah, I think that's just bad. Yeah. And then we have the Vision boards, which we did talk about. That is sort of like their creator boards. So this is.
Do you see the chipset cover says Designaire on it?
Oh, I didn't notice that. So the Vision,
so maybe
D could be like for Designaire.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually.
And they have a, what's that? Go back to it. And do you see that power plug, or it looks like a power plug towards the bottom right?
Right here?
Yep. Doesn't that look like it'd be like a 6-pin?
That's a 6-pin, probably to stabilize.
Okay.
Yeah. If anything, because I think a lot of these
additional board power,
yeah. No. Let's see if the Master
the big boy.
No.
I don't see it there
That's
either.
interesting. So do you think this would have full, like it would have the PLX chip in it?
I don't know.
That's interesting because it does have. That's for the.
It's got a 4 and an 8 up there.
Oh,
and that looks. I assume that would be a 6 because it's probably 3 and 3 stacked there.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Very interesting. I didn't even see that. And here's the Vision G. The Vision G does not say Designaire on it anywhere, does it?
I don't.
And it also does not have that 6-pin.
Right.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Some of the ones that weren't leaked last week were the actual Gigabyte boards. So you have the Z490 UDAC, more of like mainstream kind of look. Like you can see the chipset heatsinks kind of like, and you don't have any M.2 covers. Z490 UD, which is not the AX version or the Wi-Fi version, same thing. And then you have a Z490M UD, which is interesting because they're kind of like, it used to be called the Ultra Durable series. Now they're just calling it UD. Yeah, but like I said, the boards that I would want this board, the Water Force, but again, I don't do like,
full
water
loops.
cooling.
Yep.
Yeah, but it looks awesome. I do like this G2 version just because the red is different. And then like I said, the Mini ITX. I love Mini ITX, so I like that one. I don't know which ones are your favorites.
I like I do like that Vision and the Vision D.
Yeah,
I like that kind of look. The full. I'm not a big fan of the full like water block.
yeah.
Cooling, just that look in general.
I do like the Extreme.
The Extreme's pretty nice too.
Yeah, it's pretty nice as well. So lots of boards
options.
Yeah, lots. I mean, and again, this is like the full lineup, so very cool. Definitely check that out. You know, again, you'll probably these will more than likely become official tomorrow, so definitely stay tuned for that. And one interesting thing, so we leaked a bunch of the Asus boards, but Asus put out this little teaser image, which is kind of hard to see, but it's like a mix and match of all their boards. And two things caught my attention. One is the white Strix board, which wasn't initially leaked. So that's to see a white Strix board, which would be really cool. And then you see this ProArt right here. It's looks like a chipset, but it's a little thing that says ProArt. And Asus typically ProArt products were like their monitors initially, which had like all of the crazy color and everything for doing editing work.
Yep.
I think what they're gonna take that branding and make a ProArt motherboard, or at least motherboard series, which is again like we're seeing this from everybody, aimed at creators, right? Aimed at people who need certain things. So it more than likely looks like Servina says it's probably replacing the WS line, probably. That's going to give you a mix of like sort of I wouldn't say work, like I guess like a mix of workstation and more you know, just general features. I think for people who need certain things that you only find on workstation boards, but they don't need everything that's on a workstation board, but they need it for creating content and things like that. So that's pretty interesting. I would, like I said, it's interesting to see that all these brands now are coming out with like a creator series, right?
Sure.
You know, I think that's pretty awesome, and I think it's great that they're supporting that too, because you know, you kind of were just like stuck with either mainstream or gaming, right? And now, well, and there used to be an overclocking motherboard. They really don't make those anymore.
Yeah, none that are, I guess, focused towards that, right?
Or at least a whole series. There used to be like a series. Gigabyte had their, what were they? I forget now. But we used to have like crazy overclocking boards. But now it's just like gaming and then mainstream. Now we have like 3 different gaming lines and 2 mainstream lines, and then we have a creator line now. So it's pretty cool. So again, tomorrow should be able to get the lowdown on the ProArt board. So I'm excited for that. And Colorful, who we typically don't see their boards because they're not sold here in the United States, but 2 of their boards were leaked as well, and they actually look like Colorful only got into motherboards a couple years ago, right?
Pretty recently, yeah. You don't see their video cards that, you know, we don't really get over here, but these look pretty nice.
Yeah, they look. I mean, they're not
for
like
first,
amazing.
like for something we haven't seen in a while. They look nice.
Yeah, so this is their iGame Z490 Vulcan X. It looks pretty nice as far as layouts. What's interesting about this rear I/O shot is that it doesn't show a rear I/O cover, but on this, like you can tell there's one there, right? In this kind of image.
It's got that little fin to the side, right, to keep it in place.
Yeah, you can tell it's there, so I'm not sure if that's just like this might be an internal marketing thing, because this doesn't look like a real marketing slide. But we have all the details on all of this stuff as well. The Z490 Vulcan X appears to be their flagship, which looks like a really nice board. You can see the RGB there. The VRM, where is it here? I can find it. 12+2, capable of 280 watts, which is pretty awesome there as well. So yeah, it looks like I said, looks like a really good board. And then, or go ahead. Were you about to say
No.
something? Oh,
No.
sorry. And on the mainstream, they have their CVN Z490 Gaming Pro V20. I don't know what the V20 is about, but it looks pretty decent. I mean, it looks like the styling reminds me of kind of like the MSI Tomahawk boards a little bit,
Okay.
just like the styling of the
Yeah.
heat sinks and stuff.
And they have that kind of military font almost to it.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
But yeah, we have all the details on both of those boards, like pretty much the entire rundown. So if you are in an area where you can get colorful boards, that might be something you might be interested in.
William in chat said that
Oh.
BioStar announced their motherboard lineup. I was
Oh.
looking for I see some teasing stuff, but that was older news from like January.
Yeah.
I was trying to find something, but
Either tonight at midnight. I don't know when the
oh,
actual time
I'm
is,
sure.
but like the 30th is the day, from what I've been told. So
Right.
But moving from motherboards, because we spent a lot of time covering all of the leaks over the past 2 weeks, we will go ahead and move on to Nvidia. And an interesting story came out this week. Real quick though, William said he's happy to make the stream. No, that's all right. If there's news, he said he's sorry about screaming about the BioStar update. Hey man, if there's news and we're live on here, we might as well get it out to
I do see
everybody.
they've got a video out on
Nice.
YouTube, kind of teasing some of their stuff. It's all
Nice.
CG, it looks like, but cool.
But back to Nvidia, an interesting story came out this week about TSMC talking about their 5 nanometer production, and they were talking about their customers, and they said one of their customers is going to be Nvidia, which makes you wonder, like, what is this 5 nanometer chip going to be? This is obviously going to be in the future. But it makes you think, like, right now, Nvidia uses 16 nanometer and 12 nanometer for the graphics cards, 7 nanometer for some other, I don't know what they use.
Is there go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure what there's. I think, is it for their card chip? Or I could be wrong.
Tegra?
Yeah, their Tegra chip. I'm not sure. But 5 nanometer is coming, it seems like, which is pretty interesting. I think that, when their graphics cards move down, and then we'll see even more products with this. Obviously, it's a big win for TSMC, which it seems like they're like the juggernaut that's just not stopping, right? I think everybody's going to them. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Another interesting thing about Nvidia is, the GPU Technology Conference, or GTC, was obviously canceled because of coronavirus, and then they were supposed to have an online thing. They said you were actually able to register for it, and then they canceled that. And then now they said they are going to have a GTC 2020 keynote. It is going to be May 14th at 6 a.m. So 9 a.m. Eastern time. It's going to be broadcasted on YouTube, and they said to get amped up.
Yeah.
So
boy, wonder what that means, right?
Yeah, wonder what that means. Probably that we're going to get an Ampere announcement. Now, do you think? Here's my question to you: do you think this is going to be just like how we saw with the past couple generations, like the high end, server part first, and then we'll eventually get the gaming parts?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, it is. Yeah, I have a feeling it will be. I mean, they might tease the enthusiast gaming parts, or maybe give a little bit of data on them, but I just don't. I don't see them releasing it all, or at least announcing everything in full at GTC.
And I think, like, when I'm trying to think of, like, the actual, when did the 20 series launch? Like, when was that?
The 2000 series?
Or 2000 series, sorry. Or yeah.
Was it like summer of 2018?
Yeah, so this is going to be in, like obviously it's going to be in May. Yeah, like usually it's like September. Like Computex is usually like a launch time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think with this we'll get a server part works, a server part first, showing off the tech, and then we'll eventually get a gaming
Yeah,
part.
the 20 series was released in September of 2018.
Yeah, I think that's what will happen. It kind of just makes sense because they don't need to release a gaming part right now, right?
No, I mean they're still on
Uh,
top.
yeah. So I think it'll be for a little bit, but we'll obviously
That's
I'll
kind
be
of a
watching that.
it's
Oh,
kind
go
of a
ahead.
tough environment right now too to say, hey, we know everybody's like, maybe not working or has
Yeah.
lost a job or is just less hours, but hey, here's our new $1,000 graphics card. Go ahead and buy it. That's a tough sell right now, I think,
Yeah,
for
very,
a
very tough
lot
sell.
of folks. So
Yeah. That actually completely makes sense. So I think we'll see a higher end again server part, and
mhm.
then we'll see the trickle down, just like what we saw with the 20 series. So
Yeah.
or 2000 series, however, whatever you want to call it. Another story about stuff that's coming later this year is that Intel will be launching a 10 nanometer Tiger Lake CPU, mobile CPU with integrated XE graphics in Q4 of 2020. Um, these will be whatever just came out on mobile side. This will be
hmm
the next one. It will be 10 nanometer, and it will have XE GPUs built in, like as the iGPU. Um, and there, see, the thing about when we report all these stories is that we're supposed to get XE discrete
Right.
um, GPUs this year. Now, with everything going on, and obviously, I haven't heard any big leaks besides those two um, dev kits that were sent out and everything.
Yep.
Is that will we get Tiger Lake? Because Tiger Lake is supposed to come out this year on desktop as well.
I mean, everything is so like up in the air. It feels like you could and you couldn't. It's like the technology might be there, but the production lines and the supply chain for all of it may not be there, right? So they
Yeah,
may be having to work against all of that, plus a market that may just not be ready to move
I
forward
think
with
that
those types of
it would
purchases.
be if they actually had a good GPU, like something that would be good mid-range, like 2060, 2070 performance,
hmm
that they could
It might be
then
smart
launch
to release that. Yeah.
with a desktop CPU as well.
hmm
Saying like, buy both of our things together, like would be pretty awesome. I am interested to see if this is the only XE launch, which will be on like integrated into the processor. It will be interesting to see what that does for iGPU on mobile stuff, just for the fact that this is a brand new architecture. So I'm kind of I'm a
hmm
little excited to see that because it is a brand new architecture from Intel when it comes
Yeah.
to mobile graphics. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, a lot of these stories are kind of like, it's not 100% confirmed, just like anything with, what's going on in the world right now. Nothing's really
Yeah.
confirmed. But something that is at least not confirmed, but I mean, these scores are real.
Scores are real. Yeah.
So somebody who has a Core i3 10300 and a Core i3 10100, they were tested on Cinebench against the new Ryzen 3 3300X and 3100, and it matches up quite well. And you can see why maybe AMD launched their products now,
hmm
because maybe Intel was going to beat them on this lower end scale of things. So if you look at the single threaded scores here, the Ryzen 3 3300X is on top with 2341, and the Core i3 10300 is a little bit behind at 2330, and you can see it kind of goes down. the 10100 actually beats the 3100. Not by much, but it does. 4 points in the multi-thread. But again, this kind of makes sense. Like, why are we getting these new Ryzen, third generation Ryzen parts now so far, after launch? It kind of makes sense. And I think maybe this segment, it's quad core now, which is really funny. This quad core segment is still probably huge as far as volume, and I think they're going to get a lot of a lot of sales in that. And I think that if AMD or Intel can say we have the best chip at this price in that segment, and again, quad core, at least the Ryzen 3 3300X for $120 seems like a great deal for a gaming chip for $120.
No, I'm really thinking about buying that for a build, for a server build here.
Yeah, and you have the B550 motherboards coming out that are going to be much, that are also going to give you Gen 4 and be very inexpensive. So that's pretty interesting stuff there. So check out those scores. And again, the Ryzen parts are already out. I wouldn't put that in an X57 just for the fact that B550 is coming, and I would save money and put it in the B550. But something that Intel's doing that is also great for the lower end is that they are enabling overclocking on their B460 chipset. So leaked pictures of a B460M motherboard from, what's the company here? They're a Chinese company only. But in any case, I think it's Maxon. Maxon, they make graphics cards as well. But their motherboards, they show that their overclocking is available in the B460 chipset. Typically, the B&H series chipsets from Intel did not allow overclocking. That was just the high-end feature that you got. Maybe, again, with all of this competition in the lower end, enabling overclocking on the lower end chipset is something that they need to do to kind of compete.
Be competitive. Yeah. No, I think that's a pretty valid statement there. Yeah.
And again, these should be pretty, I would think, inexpensive,
affordable
as well. Yeah. So you have that coming up as well. Like I said, overclocking, and again, I remember when Asus enabled overclocking, and then Intel made them disable it. And we had that whole thing back and forth. So you will see it hopefully with these P460 chipsets. So that is exciting as well. And this is a product that I saw.
I'm getting some crackly audio from you. I don't know if you said it was storming earlier. I don't know if you're having any.
It is storming. Do I sound bad?
It's just some crackling. I don't know if anybody else is getting that or not. But
chat, let me know if I sound crackly. Hopefully I don't. But I can I don't know what I could do.
No, we'll keep on.
But anyways, I saw this product and I instantly thought of you, because you're Mr. like storage, you're Mr. NAS guy. And I loved, back in the day, I loved having hot swappable drives. I just loved it. Just being able to do that. And I was like, with all this super fast storage that we have, yeah, you can do it with SSDs, but those still are slow, in my opinion, compared to NVMe drives. Nobody's really made a great hot swappable NVMe drive. Servinia said that my audio is crappy.
Yeah, they both said.
I'll just turn it off and turn it back on.
All right. We'll see how this goes. Yeah. It was a little crackly at first, and then it was like super crackly. I cannot hear you at all. All right, well, we'll let Bob work out his technical difficulties. We're getting the wait 1 second finger. So.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Do I sound better?
You do sound better. I haven't heard it.
I don't know what's going on. I just reset it, but then it did all this weird stuff with RTX voice, and Yeah.
Nope. Sounds better now.
Okay, everybody, we should be good. Sorry about
Thumbs
my.
up.
It's this new computer that I built. It's just all messed up. I don't know. I don't know what that deal was, but and what is it bad?
No, it's good.
Oh, okay. In any case, I saw this product and I instantly thought of Ryan because he's just Mr. Storage. But hot swapping NVMe drives has been something I'm like, why don't we have something like that, right? You know,
I mean, I think it's a good idea. I don't know that this implementation would be something I'd want,
correct.
but like if it was in a front bay or something, I think this would be awesome.
If it was in a front bay to maybe like a U.2, because that's how you could actually do it with multiple, because you don't want a bunch of risers, right? Like that.
No.
But Icy Dock, of all people, has this. It's called the Tough Armor. They need to just make normal names because this is Tough Armor MB840 M2
Oh yeah, that's not
/B.
okay.
But basically, it's basically a riser card it's an M.2 riser, which I actually have one in this system, which is great for older systems because you don't need an M.2 slot. All you need is PCI Express because that's how this runs. And you mount the drive to the hot swappable part, and it just slides in and kind of just goes in, and it's all toolless. And yeah, that's pretty awesome. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That is cool. Like I said, I wish, if they had like a U.2 connection for you could put it in like a 5 1/4 bay or even lay them flat in a 3 1/2.
Well, the thing is that how many cases have those bays?
Oh, I know, up front anymore, right? Like mine doesn't even have anything up front. And like if you're out back, if you've got that in the back of the case, now you've got to reach behind and like line it up right and get it out. And if your case isn't far enough from the wall,
I agree.
So there's that, but I mean, if you're putting this into your case and have a use for it, you're probably going to make accommodations to make use of it. So,
yeah. Serena said, anyone else mentally hear the EEG flatline sound when I didn't come back right away? That's actually funny. But yeah, like this is like a good starting point for something like this, right?
Yeah.
We need a way that we can do this easily, but again, with all of these new cases not having there's no drives in the front of any of these cases. Like any new case you buy, there's no drives. Again, in the back, you have to go back there, as William said. He said, I feel like it's much more a chore than just throwing an M.2 and never worrying about it. He said he could see it for older systems. Yeah, but like it's just like, how could you implement this easier? And I don't see it. I just don't.
Unless this became like a super popular size and standard and thing to do, which I don't think it is. Like this isn't going to replace USB drives. It's if cases started coming out with a little slot, that was like a spring-loaded type of thing, kind of like SD cards are on laptops.
Yeah, or something.
But I just don't see this being.
And again, this tech is going to change in a couple years, right? We're going to get something new, smaller or whatever. But I think it's cool. If I had an older system too that didn't have NVMe drives, this would be a great way to. And if I did want them to be hot swappable, this would be a good way to do it, I'd say. But yeah, like I said, pretty cool little device. No word on pricing. Expect like a little bit more, I would say, than a normal M.2 riser would be. But yeah, very. I could see this in like a server, because they actually include the full height and half height
and a low profile.
Yeah, low profile. So in a server, this would be pretty cool. But yeah. So that's it for the news this week. No gaming news this week, which is kind of surprising. But coming next week, no,
your audio is good. Your video is like someone rubbed Vaseline on your lens. It was all pixelated. It's all good. It's that weather. It's that Pittsburgh weather.
It's the weather is just, I don't know what it's doing out there, but yeah. So coming next week, NZXT H1 again. It's right there. It will be tested fully tomorrow. And we talk about what we did this week. Of course, I did my build, which I don't think I learned anything new. First time using the Corsair Commander Pro, which worked no problems.
Cool.
Yeah. Trying to think if I did anything else tech wise.
No.
No.
I got a new audio sound meter today.
Oh,
It was a belated birthday gift from my in-laws, and so they got. What else did I get? I guess I got this. I've had this on like my Amazon wish list for like a year or more.
I almost bought that exact one, but I didn't.
And because I usually just hook my camera up to the USB here, because I don't use SD cards that often, but I've always just wanted and needed one. So they got one of those that was on my wish list, and then this one came in today. So now I can do a little more accurate testing of audio. So
yeah,
and it's nice because it's got the little tripod thread in there, so you can put it on a tripod and just sit it there.
Try to not distant. I have this one, which is slightly bigger than that one, but this is what I use when we do audio stuff for CPU coolers. I have this one, so yeah, it has a tripod deal as well. So
I'll mess with those, and then I think we linked in the show notes, and we were both kind of tipped off to this by Adam. Epos Fox posted a video today, I believe it was, right? I think that went live today about Canon adding some beta software to allow you to use some of their EOS cameras as a webcam.
Better place. There we go. It's a better place to pause.
Yeah. So we met Adam at CES this last year and talked with him a couple times, and he puts out a ton of awesome content. Anyhow, so if you haven't checked him out, definitely do that. He's got a ton of awesome content over on YouTube. But really, Canon is now allowing you to utilize the USB port on select cameras so that you can utilize it as a webcam. It worked on my M50. I tried it out earlier. I just need some dummy power to not run on batteries, and so I'm gonna get something like that ordered. I don't think anywhere in town has one that I'm gonna be able to pick up. I may call some camera shops around town and see if they've got one. I kind of doubt it, but yeah, I'm gonna try and use that for streams and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of like one of those people that I think that it would be great, and people do it all the time. I'm just like, is it good for my camera to be on all the time? You know, like doing video. It can't be that bad.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is that you're technically probably using less power because it's not technically recording.
Right, it's just passing that video through.
It's just passing the video through. So you're not technically recording, which I assume you're actually using less processing power in the camera to do it. But yeah, the same thing I learned how to do, or sort of you kind of have to hack it to do it with Sony cameras that I've been kind of messing with as well. I thought about doing it. It's not as easy as I think.
That was via USB, right? That you were doing?
Yeah, it is via USB, but then you have to put it into OBS as a capture of the screen, and then you have to make OBS a camera, and then put that camera into whatever you're using.
Or you could just, like Savernia said, use like a cam link and use the HDMI out, which is probably a better solution.
The thing about HDMI out, well, Sony is good at it. They have
clean HDMI. Yeah, my camera does not.
Yeah, so I know the Canons don't have clean HDMI out, so that is an issue. But yeah, really cool video. If you guys want to know anything about streaming, Adam is the guy. He literally knows everything a lot about audio and a lot about streaming. He's the guy to go to. So it's Epos Fox on YouTube. We have this video that's up right here, linked in the show notes if you want to go ahead and check it out. But really, really cool stuff there. So yeah, we might be looking better. I'm still using my Logitech webcam.
Yeah, I'm on the Logitech as well. And if I have to order this thing off of Amazon, it may be a couple weeks, obviously, before it comes in.
Yeah,
but we'll see. Or maybe I'll get it off of Newegg. They might have it, and I can get it right away.
William did say in the chat, he said, "Did you see the new Be Quiet coolers?" We did. We actually posted the press release on the website. I didn't put in the show notes because typically, like, the CP coolers aren't necessarily that
newsworthy, I guess.
Newsworthy, but he did say that it's the Pure Rock 2. It's going to go against the Cooler Master Hyper 212. They do have. I'll actually see if I can bring it up here on my screen because we have it on the website. They're going to have I think a silver one and a black one. We actually saw them at CES, and I don't know the pricing on them, but if they're priced, I might have the price in.
I think Saverni also said the EOS R5 should be interesting. I agree. They also had a camera at CES that they were showing kind of for streaming as well. I think it was the M200 that I believe has clean HDMI out as well.
It's so crazy because you buy something and then you're like, then there's all these other things you want to do with it, and then you're like, but here's the new Be Quiet coolers. They look great. 4 heat pipes, the Silent Wings fans. They are doing the all black version, as you can see, and then they have the silver version. They're $39, which puts them.
I mean, that's going to compete right with
39 for the silver, 44 for the black. They will compete basically with the Hyper 212s. I'm going to try to get one of these into review because that Hyper 212, the RGB black edition or whatever one I got was like the best cooler under $50, and these hopefully will perform right up to it. Excited to like I said, we'll try to get one of those into review. I'd go for the black one because I like the black, but yeah, guys, that is it. Anything else you want to talk about tech related there, Ryan?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we'll just be streaming over on Twitch.
Yes,
doing some Apex Legends. I haven't looked into it too much, but it's kind of like a new mode with Armor. I think you drop with Armor, and I think today might be the blue.
I don't know what. Okay, so I played it
in a P2020, right?
Yeah, so you drop the other day. I played it. So for you guys not familiar with Apex, you typically drop with no weapons, nothing, and I guess they change it every day. But this new event that they're having, you actually drop with armor and you drop with a gun. And I guess
there's no armor on the map.
Yeah, there's no armor on the map. So
it's shield. Yeah, that's cool.
So it's pretty interesting. So we'll be playing that over on Twitch. If you guys don't know our Twitch, it's right there at the bottom of the screen. Twitch.tv/ThinkComputers. We'll be over there playing, and hopefully get some wins tonight. I don't know, Ryan.
We haven't gotten one in a while, but we'll see.
No, 2 weeks ago we got one. Did we not?
I know that's a while. We didn't get one last week.
Okay.
We usually, it feels like we crank one out about once a week, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
Do we have a third?
I don't have one lined up, but I saw Pred was on earlier, but he's been on and off. So
we'll try it. But if you guys jump in our Discord and if you want to play games with us,
actually, we may. There's a third that might be on. He's in the main menu.
All right. Well, we're gonna jump off here.
Saverni, it's Apex Legends. So
yeah. Sorry, I don't have the comments back up anymore. But yeah, we'll be over on Twitch playing some games. And again, this is like a tough time for everybody. So we want to thank you guys for taking the time out to be with us and listen to our podcast. If you want to subscribe on any podcasting app or website, it's just ThinkComputers, all one word. So until next week,